If you want to see amazing and exciting duels, informative and entertaining top 10 lists, and everything else that's just great about the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you gotta watch the Capital G Show. Shout outs to my homeboy Dante. Hey. What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So we're looking at an insanely crazy deck that topped over in the OCG. It's actually an event in Shibuya, Japan, which is in Tokyo, and that probably is like the heart of competitive play in the OCG, because this event had 348 players, and I think I'm going to make this absolutely a weekly segment because a lot of people seem to like these OCG videos. The deck got third place at that event, and what's really cool and interesting about the OCG and why I think a lot of people enjoy these videos is it seems like they are never afraid to experiment with multiple archetypes in one deck. Like, it seems like every single week they're getting a new hat or Dino Rabbits or Plant Synchro, you know, decks that we may see only once a year or something like that. Like, these Japanese players are like, shit, I'm going to throw all of this stuff together. I'm going to try and get a whole bunch of synergy into this deck, and I'm going to try and make it work. And I guess it's my job to try and explain the deck the best that I can. Now, if you've never seen the trains in action, you've never played them or anything like that, they are an OCG archetype. But I will say this: not only are they like wildly competitive, like they can be their own deck, they can stand on their own 2 feet, but the deck is so much fun to play, and it's really versatile. Not only is it a great XC maker, and the XCs that it makes are incredibly, like, if you think the rank 4 pool is good, like, shit, you ain't seen nothing yet till you start talking about the rank 10s. But then, you know, when you combine these guys with skill drain, they're just like, you basically are kind of dealing with a deck like Cleefort. So the deck can be great without its effects, the deck can be great with its effects, and it's really interesting to see Shaddoll still seeing a ton of play without Construct. Like, no Construct, absolutely no problem. You know, Construct is banned in the OCG, but it doesn't really seem to matter. And I mean, did you ever really think that you'd see a deck top an event this large running Shaddolls as an engine and like skill drain? Like, those two things seem like they would never go together, but somehow they worked. All right, so he has three obviously small engines. He has the the hand engine, ice hand, fire hand. I see absolutely no conflict with skill drain. These dudes are still gonna trigger, so he knows that he can probably just set these turn 1 with a skill drain. Your opponent runs over a fire hand. Okay, you got them. Just take one of their monsters, get an ice hand. If you're going second, then fire or ice hand can probably ram if your opponent is playing some type of back row. In the OCG, they play more back row than we do in the TCG. The 9-card train engine, the trains are so good, man. They're just amazing. First off, if you have skill drain out, these two are incredible. This dude is he'll become a 2800 beater, so like that's Cleefort level with all their monsters. This guy will become a 3000 beater. I mean, think about if you're playing Sertelenites or Necros in the OCG, like how big of a problem it is when your opponent is throwing, you know, ice hand and fire hand at you, but at the same time they've got skill drain locking you down. And then they're basically playing Cleeforts against you. It's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to summon Duracrane, attack for 28. I'm just going to summon the Express Knight, attack for 3,000. Now, the thing about these guys are, even if you don't have skill drain out, they're just really, really good at making exceeds. This card has, its effect is, I guess, a little utility. You get to burn your opponent for 500, but you don't get a battle phase that turn. The main reason you want to run this card is if it goes to the graveyard, it tutors for other trains. That's the whole reason you want to run that. Same thing about Switchyard. Switchyard is a card where it has 2 really good effects. First off, if you normal summon a level 10 train or a level 10 earth monster, which is, you know, this or this, then you get the special summon one from your deck. You can't special summon Express Knight, but you can special summon the Duracrane. So, you know, just like free pluses or whatever. And then the second effect is you can discard a card. You can not discard, because that wouldn't trigger Shaddolls. You can send a card to the graveyard, and then you actually get to search one of these Earth level 10s, which, you know, it can be the Express Knight, it can be the Duracrane. The important part of that is it is not a cost to send to the graveyard, so you can trigger all your Shaddoll effects. Let's say for some reason, you know, you have a bunch of Shaddolls in your hand, but you don't have the Shaddoll Fusion. You don't have the L. By the way, he only probably ran 1 L because it is limited in Japan. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, if you have a handful of Shaddolls, you can actually send them to the graveyard with this card and they'll totally trigger. You can blow up back row. And you'd probably think like why he ran this Shaddoll lineup, but this lineup makes the most sense to me because Dragon and Squamata are probably the best ones here because under skill drain, they're legitimate beaters. And if you have skill drain out, I just don't see you. Like, I don't ever really see you summoning Beast, and this card is really, really good. If you've ever seen this deck actually make their Xyz, like this redonkulous card where it's kind of like, it looks a lot like Gustav Max. In layman's terms, this card is essentially Felgrand, but anytime you make an Xyz using Deracrane, it gets ridiculously stupid. Like, this card already protects itself. It's going to be damn hard to run over this guy because it can just summon itself in defense mode. 4,000 ass, like how you getting over that with a 4,000 ass? Like, I don't see you running this thing over in battle, not to mention the 3,200 attack. But anytime this card is detached from an Xyz, you get to blow one card up on your opponent's field. So my opponents, and like I played this guy called Edon. He's done it multiple times. He's summoned this card using like this, and then he'll just detach and he'll be like, oh, you tried to Regeki me? Like, no, my guy's protected. And then, by the way, I get to blow your cards up as well. So it is insanely crazy. And they actually just, you know, even if the deck can attack, because let's say that it used the Ruffian effect to burn you for 500, it can easily like go into Gustav Max and burn you for another 2,000. So even if you're like somewhere around 2,000 or 2,500, don't think that you're necessarily safe, you know, because you have like a Mirror Force or a Deep Prison or something like that. Like, this deck can do a ton of burn damage. Then there's also this card. This card can actually, it kind of does the same thing. You can burn your opponent for 1,000 and you get to blow up a card on their field when you activate the effect. I don't think, yeah, you can't attack during this turn. At least this card can attack. So essentially, let's say that you had Deracrane. You go into this, you can nuke 2 cards on your opponent's field and burn them for 1,000. Like, is that totally fair? Now, you have to remember in the OCG, things are a little different. They do have super polymerization. It's still legal. I'm hoping that super poly will come back to the TCG like soon, and that's the reason why not only did he run things like you know, Grista, just in case he's playing like another Shaddoll deck or something like that, he can make it with Fire Hand. But that's the reason he ran these elemental heroes as well. You see, he has the Shining and he has Adoration. Mainly, I'm just guessing in case you happen to run into like mass heroes, especially this guy. If your opponent has like you know, Dark Law out, plus they summon like a Bubble Man or a Shadow Mist, you can just super poly them. You can summon this. Same thing with this. Maybe your opponent has you know, they may have like a random hero like a Bubble Man, then they summon Neil's Alias. You can super poly them. You can make the Shining. You're not really going to get any effects, but the point is you're taking their monsters. 3 copies of Shikanage in the extra deck. That's because one of his major engines is Earth. Obviously, he runs the Shaddoll lineup. I think this deck is really cool, and it could be really, really fun. The only card that kind of jumped out to my mind, I was like, why isn't he running that, is, and I guess you guys can disagree, is Pot of Avarice. Like, I kind of looked at this deck, and I'm like, well, he does have a lot of ways of burning through his monsters without even exceeding. Like, he can, you know, use the fusion cards, L, and the regular, not to mention super polymerization. He's probably discarding cards for switch yard, not only to tutor cards. So I'm like, maybe a Pot of Avarice could have been pretty good here. You know, if your Fire Hand gets attacked, you're gonna get an Ice Hand from the deck. So it seems like he could burn through his monsters too quickly if he doesn't have the skill drain rolling. So that's the only card that popped out at me, and it was like, you know, maybe he should have ran that. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoy this segment where we're talking about these crazy OCG decks, just leave a comment, kind of just saying that. Say, yeah, Cap, I like this segment or something like that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always.